Good afternoon. Yes, afternoon. Day 9. I was up late last night listening to the chase, well, DPS pursuit actually, of the officer up in Payson that was shot. They chased the car for a while. Car went off the road a few times. At least he hit an elk, I think, and one of the DPS officers hit an elk in the process. They He went off road from the last part, and then they said there was a gunshot wound. So at that time we didn't know that it was self-inflicted. He shot himself in the head. Ranger was up overhead, but they didn't have enough fuel to fly him out. They flew in from Kingman, and so they had to call in AirVac 9 out of Phoenix to fly him out. I've been working on the computer most of the morning, the afternoon, and also found out that I had to disable my ad block on Firefox. It wouldn't let me look at the Google Plus page this morning. So that took over an hour or more trying to figure what was causing it. Google Plus would load up, and then it would be a blank page. And from the web pages I was reading around about the problem, it was ad block plus, or ad block, the extension in there. So I disabled that. Works fine now. Played with a couple templates I was thinking about doing an intro with this, and I decided, hey, it's my life. It's not fancy this and fancy that of trying to, put an intro on it or an outro. It's what it is. I fed the worm in earlier, gave it a few pounds of coffee grounds and some water, and mixed up some of the bedding in there. It still wasn't broke down a lot. There's lots of compost in there, but lots of the bedding was still dry around the edges. So I mixed the top up on that. And then over here at the flow through, I gave that a few pounds of bananas and coffee grounds, and another layer of wet cardboard on top, so the worms would go to the food. They don't really like it on the top. They won't eat through it all unless there's cardboard on top of it. So it's like a layer. It's dark in there, but at some point I'll give you a full tour. I'll get some light in this. And I ripped up some cardboard. The cardboard that I put in the flow through needed to be replaced, so I ripped up one box and threw it in here. Let that soak for a week or two, and that will be good to go for another bin, or if I need another layer in one of the other containers. While I was out watering my plants out front, there was a flock of birds that went over toward the southwest. Not sure what they were. They had a wingspan of at least 4 foot. These were huge birds. A guess would be maybe condors, but I don't think we've ever had that many around here. The wings, they were kind of like dark brown, but the light shined through the half of the back of the wings, and they were light brown. Couldn't really make out the head. They were up that high, probably 10,000 to 12,000 feet. Maybe not that high, but that's what it seemed like. They were up there and they were just gliding on the air pattern. Sometimes they'd flap their wings, but they were just catching the air current and moving with the air current down that way at least 50 birds. There was a good big flock, and then there was maybe a dozen or more stray birds after that. And the same pattern, but farther over more of where the air current was coming from. Wow, I just saw the ending of Breaking Bad of this episode. One more episode to go. Lots of things happened in this one that nobody saw coming. Todd saying it's not personal and doing what he did, that was a shocker there. I'm not going to give it away for people who haven't seen it. Where Walter showed up and where he is and what he did. I can imagine what next week's episode is going to be like. I thought they were tying up loose ends, but they're making new ones, it seems like. So we'll have to wait till next week to see what happens on Breaking Bad.